Hello, friends. Welcome to today's reflection and meditation. You are heard. So, the focus of today is upon Avalokitesvara. There are many ways to pronounce that and many ways, not too many ways to spell it. And in the original text, which predates the Lotus Sutra, so I studied it as chapter 25 of the Lotus Sutra, which is considered the origin text in Buddhism for the introduction of Avalokitesvara as a Buddha and or as Bodhisattva. However, there are texts that predate that text that are lesser known. So just to give fair academic footnote on that one. I have been very taken by the presence of this one. And I believe that this is so because it's very similar in essence and energy to what we accept as so when we talk about Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus, which I've been close to Mary since I was a very little girl. So it naturally makes sense that at some point in my own life, and this happened in seminary, that I would come across the Buddha or Bodhisattva Avalokitesvara. Now, Avalokitesvara, the etymology of that name has roots in Sanskrit and roots in Chinese. In the Sanskrit, which is what we get Avalokitesvara from, you can break the word down in three parts. Ava, which is down, Lokita, which is to look or to behold or to perceive, and Ishvara, which is Lord or sovereign. Ishvara might be a bit familiar to you if you have ever looked at the Bhagavad Gita or are familiar with the god Vishnu. So Avalokitesvara comes from that root. And so when you look at it etymologically, it is the Lord who looks down upon. Upon is implied, upon creation or upon the earth. When translated into Chinese, this was translated into Guanyin as one of the many translations. I'm not trying to give a purely academic take on this. I'm pulling from it enough to share with you so that it will lend into the mantra and meditation practice we're going to do. And Guanyin has a characteristic to it that it's the Buddha or the Eternal One's sensing or perceiving of the world's sound. And sometimes that's translated as cries. I like sound better because when you use the word cries, that, especially for our Western mind, can link into a kind of lack theology, as though we're crying from suffering and we lack and we need help from the suffering. We do need help and support amidst in our journey of suffering. But sound implies more. It implies everything. And my experience with Avalokitesvara is from the Lotus Sutra's translation that I worked with. The perceiver of all the world's sounds is much more all-encompassing. It is to be heard on the deepest level of our being at all times. Perceiver of all the world's sounds. Now, when we take a look at that, if you look into the Chinese understanding of the words that they've used with Guanyin, it implies that the looking upon is with eyes of compassion. In fact, if you get into Tibetan, you get Chenrezig, which is eye of compassion, to look upon with compassion. And that brings about a relational quality with this Bodhisattva or Buddha. Now, in Buddhism, there is a rejection that there is actually a creator God. So it gets a little tricky there when you're talking about Buddha and Bodhisattva. But we could, if we wish, take our own perception of Eternal One as an essential immaterial being who has a mysterious quality of compassion that lies at our very center. When we look at this, then, we can gain an entry point to many of the mystics' experiences, those of all traditions. But I'm going to take one from Christianity, and that is a favorite of mine, Thérèse of Lisieux. Thérèse of Lisieux said in one of her writings, she said, "I am not afraid of a God of judgment, because a God of judgment would see me for what I truly am in every way. And that would mean this God would be one of mercy and compassion." Throwing the word compassion in there because I believe that's what she meant when she used the word mercy. She lived in a time of Jansenism, which emphasized the theology of unworthiness. And that unworthiness has really infiltrated most of the Western takes on religion and spirituality. I think we are still healing from a sense of unworthiness. But the mystics like Thérèse give us a glimpse to say, no. That even when we talk about the word judgment, judgment is to be seen for all of what we are at every moment. And the natural response with that would be one of compassion, would be one of total and utter mercy. Not mercy in spite of, but in light of. Now, what if we were to look at icons of gods of judgment, the Pantocrator and other icons where you get sometimes Jesus, sometimes the Creator God, and there's this menacing look on the face and these big hands up showing that they see you, they look upon you, but with this severe gaze. What if we were to broaden our understanding and move away from the Western tendency to be like this? I see you, you're going to be punished. What if we broadened our understanding to what the Eastern schools of thought have implicitly? That to be looked upon implies that the looker is an embodiment of compassion. How might that influence our view of the Eternal One as one that can have the use of the word judgment? Now, I have a few images to set up our meditation with this, and it won't surprise you. So here, in this image of Avalokitesvara, you see a beautiful image of Avalokitesvara is holding one hand to the chest and one hand outward towards you, which is a posture of well, it could be interpreted many ways, but one is I am of the heart, I am the embodiment of heart, and I bless you, and I am outpouring towards you. Now, what if we were to set this right beside this icon in Christianity, and in specific Orthodox and Catholicism, of course? We have the same image before us, don't we? And yet this is an icon of who? Mary. And what if we look upon this one here, this image of Avalokitesvara? So this is manifold, isn't it? Avalokitesvara is completely enlightened, embodying all elements of creation. You've got the many heads going on there. And you can see by the many arms, there are many facets of healing of the entire reaches of the planes of creation, of compassion. And could it be possible that this modern image of Mary is something of the same? Look at the many different aspects of light taking place there. Is there a parallel? Could you draw a parallel? I do. So whereas we take what's considered a historical image in the Western tradition, because Avalokitesvara is not so much a historical in-form image, though it is in many other places in the world. You've got a historic image of a Mary with only 2 arms. So the many facets of grace and compassion come forward in the forms of light. And then the last image here, much more subtle, and of course I'm drawing my own conclusions. So here you've got 2 images of the hands of Avalokitesvara reaching in 2 different ways. In a way, holding the upper and lower realms, the many realms of creation, right? Pulling it all together in a way, encompassing it all. And I felt, this is just me feeling, a parallel with this icon of Mary in a traditional stance of holding a sacred cloak that she cloaks all of creation, the upper and lower realms, if you will, the many facets of creation in its need to be heard and held. How might that reposition our take on Mary? I don't know that I want to give you my take. I want you to explore this. If there's a relationship between these 2 essences or images or spiritual beings, how might that resituate our own relationship to this divine feminine being that's such a big part of Western Christianity? Where might we place it in our categorization of what is eternal and what is of the world? In both Avalokitesvara and Mary, we get a unique parallel of many manifestations, many. If you went down the rabbit hole in Avalokitesvara, many more than even Mary. But it parallels the apparitions of Mary that have happened over the decades in different countries. And Mary is the embodiment of what would be resonant with the culture and its spirituality. In Avalokitesvara, you get the same. So that brings me then to the focus of this reflection, since I'm drawing upon Avalokitesvara, and as you can see, I'm drawing Mary into that. What does it mean to be heard in your innermost part? If we take a moment and allow it to be something that, ultimately it's of us, but we can get in our own way. The other woundedness and layers that we have can get in the way of that immediacy within ourselves. But if we allow these presences of Avalokitesvara and Mary to set us up for an experience that we are heard, that you are heard, that every sounding within you, the longing, the vulnerability, the history, the memories, the thought processes, the emotional currents, the many lives, the many dimensions. I won't even get into that. In these deep places of ourselves, there is an incredible, I want to use the word fragility, but fragile can sometimes be taken as easily broken. I believe in these deep realms that are so fragile that it's not possible to be broken truly. But there is a way that part of ourselves isn't met in the world around us. It's rarely met by other human beings, rarely met. And sometimes we meet those in meditation, or those writers or those teachers, maybe personally, maybe not personally, where we seem to encounter being heard. What would it be like if you had an experience of Avalokitesvara standing right before you and looking into your eyes and your heart and your soul, and you experience being heard? Not being heard and judged, which would be a Western tendency, being heard with the penetrating wisdom that shows up as compassion. And what if we allowed this in the presence of Mary? Mary stood before us and saw into our hearts and our souls and saw us, perceived us in the areas that we're even afraid to perceive ourselves. Then what happens, not only can great healing happen, but we can then be brought into the awakening of being able to perceive ourselves. So our meditation today is going to be the use of 2 mantras that's going to open us to the experience of Avalokitesvara and Mary. And I'm going to use my New Year's Day workshop beads that are the beads of compassion and is the stone unakite. We're going to use that, and we're going to do an entire mala. If you've just got rosaries, if you're a rosary person, use a rosary. I am excited about this one. So I will teach you the first mantra. The second is too easy. You won't need it taught, but it's the same tone, if you will. The first mantra is a pretty historic one used in relation to Avalokitesvara. Now, if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that every time I speak of Avalokitesvara, we do Om Mani Padme Hum, because that is the one that is the most ancient and the most popular and the most recited. But there are others. And today we're going to do a new one. It's Om Avalokitesvara. You can look, I printed it in the description, Om Avalokitesvara. And very generally, the mantra says, salutations to the pure one. It is an opening of the soul, of the heart, to Avalokitesvara. And in the salutations, it's the recognition of who this entity is, beyond male, beyond female, beyond Buddha, beyond Bodhisattva, as the pure one, and the pure one that perceives all the sounds of myself and the world with a compassion that brings forth blessing. That's all in that phrase, Om Avalokitesvara. If you take the 4 syllables of Arolik, and sometimes it's Arolika, the A refers to that all the Dharma is unborn. The Ra is that all the Dharma is pure. The La is that all characteristics of this Dharma and this purity is inapprehensible, means we can't grab it. We can't become the master of it as though we own it, though we can become it. And the Ka is that all the Dharma is without action, because an action is transactional, but all things are accomplished by it. Salutations to the pure one. And what we're going to do in relation to, we're going to alternate that mantra with the second bead is going to be Hail Mary, full of grace. It's the same phrase. Salutations, O pure one. Om Avalokitesvara, coming from as early as the 7th century and probably before. And Hail Mary, full of grace, coined for many centuries, but comes to us in the use of the rosary that they think around the 1200s or so, but existed way before then. So I'm going to invite you just to jump in with me. The toning is very simple, and just fall in as you're able to. I invite you to close your eyes and connect to the breath. And inhale together and hold for a moment and exhale. We're opening to an experience of Avalokitesvara and Mary. We're opening up to the experience of being heard and receiving blessing. And we're opening up on behalf of creation, that creation may be heard and receive blessing. Inviting in another breath. And exhale. And inviting in a breath. And join me as you're able. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Let the mantras continue within you. Open yourself to the presence of Mary and Avalokitesvara. And staying open to the presence of Avalokitesvara and Mary, we begin our second round of the mantras, inviting in a breath. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. And if you're inclined, in this moment of silence, allow Avalokitesvara and Mary to each bless you. Perhaps they lay a hand upon you, anoint you with oil, cover you with a cloak, blow spirit within your heart. Be open to their blessing in this silence. In the wake of this blessing, we begin the third and final round of our mantras, inviting in a breath. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Avalokitesvara, Om Avalokitesvara. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. Om Aralik Svaha, Om Aralik Svaha. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hail Mary, full of grace. In your innermost being, you are seen, you are heard, you are held. When you are ready, draw your palms together in front of your heart and open your eyes. Blessings, my friends.